Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The board has already participated today in 3 attorney-client sessions and a risk management session. We will now move to the regular board meeting. I'll now call the December regular meeting of the School Board of Palm Beach County to order at 5 p.m. Ms. Bellata, please call the roll.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn. Here. District 2, Alexandria Ayala.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Here.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Here.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marsha Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Here.
We have quorum with all 7 board members in attendance. Also joining us is Superintendent Michael Burke, General Counsel Sean Bernard, Inspector General Teresa Michael, Board Clerks Tony Bellata and Carol Bass, and our County Student Council President Logan Harrigan. Senior staff members will join us periodically as directed by the Superintendent. Viewers and listeners can access the meeting today by either watching on Comcast channels 234 and 235, UVerse channel 99, or by using the YouTube link on our webpage at palmbeachschools.org. In the event that the link is interrupted for technical reasons, please switch over to the TV channels. All board meetings are recorded in their entirety and posted on the district website within 24 hours. We also offer a listening-only option which the public can access by calling 561-357-5900 or toll-free at 1-866-930-7015. The meeting ID is 1-561-880-1124 #. This meeting is being transcribed by closed captioners, so remember to speak at a reasonable pace. Will everyone please stand for the pledge to be led by our friend, Mrs. Carol Bass.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome any public speakers who are joining us in person today. The School District of Palm Beach County supports the peaceful assembly of persons to express themselves regarding matters concerning district students, employees, and the community. Please remember that public comments must relate to the subject matter of the agenda item for which the speaker had requested to address. We warn you, however, that if the actions of any members of the public result in a disturbance, those persons may be subject to arrest or other lawful action, so please be respectful of all persons who are present on school board property. While your attendance here at the board meeting is appreciated, please be mindful of important safety protocols that the board now has in place to conform to COVID-19 safety guidelines and school board policies. Please adhere to the safety protocols that were provided to you upon entry, and which outline in more detail what is required. In an effort to keep all participants and district employees safe, everyone must obey all lawful orders issued by school police, which may include remaining or moving to a specific area or location, lowering voices for safety reasons, or other safety-related commands. Please understand that school police have the seating arranged based on security protocols developed by school police. Please maintain social distancing at all times, remain in the designated areas, and leave the property once your visit is complete. Public speakers must be orderly, behave with civility, and refrain from obscene or vulgar conduct, use of profanity, or statements that tend to incite violence or the breach of the peace. In addition, no person attending this meeting is to harass any other person in the room. Further, loud or prolonged applause, cheering, heckling, or jeering that is disruptive to the meeting, and it is disruptive to the meeting and for those attempting to speak. Pursuant to School Board Policies 1.03 and 2.065, speakers whose comments do not relate to the topic that the speaker indicated, including but not limited to personal insults directed at board members, the superintendent, or district staff, or the mention of any person's candidacy for elected office, are subject to having the microphone turned off and forfeiting the right to speak at the remainder of today's workshops and meetings. Please respect these cautionary warnings. Failure to follow the safety protocols and procedures as I've outlined or otherwise disruptive conduct is considered interfering with the expeditious or orderly process of the board meeting and will be considered grounds for removal from the meeting by school police. We will maintain decorum, civility, and the orderly conduct of school board business today. Thank you. Board members, we have 14 items, minutes for approval on the agenda. I need a motion to approve. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Ms. Ayala. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We have one item that's been added for bid for good cause. P2 personnel addendum, good cause exists for adding this item so employees can begin in their new positions as soon as possible. Mr. Superintendent, are you withdrawing anything?
No, sir.
Board members, we have one item that's been pulled already, FC3. Is there anybody else, any other? Refresh? Need a refresh, everyone. Apparently there's more than one. No, I got it. The items been pulled are FC3, FMPA5, FMPF1, and FMPF5. Are there any other items at this time? We need a motion to approve the agenda as modified. Motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Ms. Ayala. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Are there any disclosures or abstentions by board members? Seeing none, that'll take us to superintendent comments and board comments. Mr. Superintendent?
Yes, thank you. Well, tonight is our final school board for 2021 and our last meeting before the winter break. Can I get an amen? Anybody? No. All right. Well, as we prepare to head into the winter break, it's important to remember that a lot of our families in the community struggle to put food on the table. And our school food service team always does as much as they can to try to mitigate that challenge. And just like the team was able to do prior to the Thanksgiving break, they'll be working to distribute food this Friday at 16 locations. There is some limitation to what we're able to do, but they will be providing 13 meals and 13 snacks at these 16 locations. And those sites are available on the district website. The job of superintendent continues to bring new perks. I was excited. One of the things the superintendent gets to do every year is judge the greeting card contest. So we have students throughout the district that submit their artwork in the form of a greeting card. And I was up for this challenge. I said, hey, I took an art appreciation class at FSU. I'm qualified to judge these cards. And then the job turned out to be incredibly difficult because all of the finalists did an amazing job. But I did narrow it down. I had to narrow it down to 3 winners. We have a winner for each school level. Our elementary winner was Miss Janessa Diaz, a 5th grade student at Hope Centennial Elementary, whose design featured the Florida version of a snowman, which was a sandman soaking up sun at the beach. And then our middle school winner is Miss Genevieve Morell, an 8th grader at Watson B. Duncan, and her holiday card features a festive bough of holly. The high school winner goes to Miss Isabella Echeverria, an 11th grade student at Spanish River Community High School, and her design featured a frosty winter setting with a boy creating a snowman under the careful watch of a cardinal. The artwork was just, again, it was amazing. Each of the 3 winners will receive a printed version of their winning designs to keep and share with their family and friends, and they've also been recognized on the district's social media as well as our website for this accomplishment. The board members and I will also be using these cards to send out to some of our friends. And again, just great job to our talented students, and I look forward to next year's contest. I'd also like to take a moment just to mention Ms. Carol Bass and recognize her retirement after a long, distinguished career of dedicated service. Ms. Bass, as we all know, plays a pivotal role in the orchestration of these meetings, we faced our share of challenges throughout the pandemic. And so, again, thank you, Ms. Bass, and we wish you all the best in retirement, and it's certainly well-deserved. And then I'd also again like to extend my best wishes for everyone to have a very happy and safe holiday season. Our last day of school is on December 23rd, and then we'll be ready to welcome our students back on January 5th. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to our Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Edward Tierney. We have the exciting news to announce a new principal.
Chairman Barbieri, Vice Chairwoman Mrs. Brill, school board members, Superintendent Verk, I am very, very pleased this evening to have the opportunity to introduce Palm Beach County School District's newest principal. The Verde community expressed the desire for a visionary, compassionate leader, and they have found one. So I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Lyndon Codling, our newest principal.
Good evening, Chairman Barbieri, Vice Chairman Brill, Chairwoman Brill, school board members, and Mr. Burke. It's an absolute honor to be here tonight. I would like to start by thanking Mr. Barbieri and the board, as well as Mr. Burke and Mr. Tierney, for their trust in my leadership abilities and instructional knowledge. I am humbled and grateful for the opportunity to move from the assistant principal at Verde K-8 to the principal at Verde K-8. I would also like to thank Dr. Licata for his support and encouragement. I look forward to learning from him as well as all the experienced principals in South Area. I'd like to thank my former principal, Mr. Moldvin, for believing in me. His guidance and mentoring have helped shape my leadership style today. Thank you to the Verde faculty and families. I am extremely proud of what our students and staff have accomplished, not just as a K-5 school, but now as a K-8. Continuing to grow my already strong relationships with all stakeholders, increase student achievement, and ensure the safety and well-being of all students and staff will continue to be my top priorities. I'm confident that with my 20-plus years of teaching and leadership experience, Verde will continue to excel and remain one of the top-performing schools in Palm Beach County. Lastly, I'd like to mention my husband and son who are watching from home. I love you, and thank you for being my biggest fans. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chairman Barbieri, can I make a quick correction? I seem to have panicked about 165,000 students. The last day of school is December 22nd, not the 23rd. And the kids, you are back on January 5th. Teachers, January 4th.
Yes, I think all of our phones lit up when you said that, Mr. Superintendent.
Right.
I didn't think the kids were watching, but I guess they are. Board member comments, Mrs. McQuinn?
Thank you, yes. Unless I have specific comments to make, I typically pass. But this has been such an amazing year in good ways and not so good ways. So I have a friend who would call the comments I'm going to make my contribution to a love fest. But I cannot end this year for us without, I'm not going to name every single employee, even by job classification, because you know I would leave someone out, but every single person employed by this school district has a very important role to play in educating our kids. And I'm very, very hopeful about what we're going to see by the end of this coming, the second semester of this coming school year for what our kids will have accomplished. And that is due to every single employee. It's also due to the parents and the guardians who, as much as those of us who play a part in educating kids, nobody loves the students more than their parents. And we can all agree, we certainly do, but I recognize and value the part that parents and their guardians play in their kids' education, and certainly our business and community members. I know I will also, at the end of this, have left out a holiday, but in December, we have already celebrated Hanukkah, coming up on Christmas, Three Kings Day, and Kwanzaa. So December is an amazing month for us to just bask in being nice to each other. So I hope everyone has a great winter break. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McQuinn. Ms. Ayala?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start by giving a shout out to District 2 School Hope Centennial and my Hound Dogs for Janessa Diaz winning the elementary card contest. I love the card, and I want to give a shout out to Principal Nathan and her team who work so hard to make sure that the students there have a wonderful experience and are able to participate in activities such as this one. Next, I want to recognize another school in District 2 that accomplished something amazing recently, Berkshire Elementary. Our Berkey Bulldogs and their International Spanish Academy program was recognized as the first place in a video contest conducted of all ESA schools in the country, and they won first place. Last Friday, we were able to celebrate together in the pictures that you'll see and recognize the students' participation in the video. It was completely student-produced, front to back, behind the camera, in front of the camera, and it was such a funny, amazing video where they were comparing some funny misconceptions that occur between the Spanish and English language and some translations, and they absolutely crushed it. So I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to the team there, and Principal Perez for all the work that she does with Berkshire. I'm so honored to represent you. And finally, I want to echo my colleagues' comments and wish everybody a safe, healthy, and happy holiday season. I hope you get time to unwind and enjoy time together with your families and your loved ones, and a happy new year, and we'll see you back. And Mr. Chairman, if you could come back to me at the end so I could take a point of privilege and recognize some other students that accomplished something amazing, I would really appreciate that.
No problem, Ms.
Thank
Ayala.
you.
Thank you. Mrs. Whitfield?
Thank you so much. I have quite a few things to talk about. I'll go really fast. First of all, there were two events that I got to be a part of and coordinate this past month that I wanted to share and just say thank you to everyone involved. First was Ethical Governance Day, and a huge thank you to Mr. Barbieri for being there and speaking with the students. We invited a bunch of local leaders to come to West Boca Community High School and introduce them to governance and hopefully ethical governance, and it was just a wonderful moment for everyone to get to experience, how the reason why we're here and how amazing our children are. So huge thank you to everyone who participated in that. Second, Leadership Palm Beach County had its Education Day this past December 8th. Huge thank you to so many of the staff members here, specifically Mr. Burke for coming and spending an hour with the class and answering their questions for a very long time and very detailed questions. He was wonderful. We also had an educational panel, Dr. Ava Parker from Palm Beach State and many educational leaders throughout the community. Took place at Chuck Shaw Technical Education Center and at Palm Beach State College. So while we weren't able to go into schools this year, it actually was a wonderful day. So huge thank you to everyone who participated in that. Finally, I just want to say a quick thank you to Ms. Diane Howard, our Risk and Benefits Manager, who is leaving us. This is her last meeting, and she's been just absolutely wonderful to me and just amazing to this district, taking really good care of the taxpayer dollars. She gave us a wristband while we were in a meeting with her recently that says, "What would Diane do?" on it, and I think it's a really good thing for us to remember going forward when we're taking care of taxpayer dollars. And we have such a privilege of Nancy Bolton from the county coming to replace her, and I just absolutely adore Nancy, and I'm super glad to have her here, so welcome. And finally, Carol Bass, I think we'll probably talk about you more, but I just want to take a quick second to say a huge thank you. It's the end of an era. You're absolutely loved in this district. I don't know how we would get through. We're going to get through without you, how we would have done this past few years without you. So just a huge thank you. You have my absolute admiration and my gratitude for all your work for the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitfield. Mrs. Andrews?
Thank you and good afternoon to everyone. This is a special time of year, a year of love and hope. This is the season of joy and believing. We're still in the pandemic. We're doing better. We have a lot to be thankful for. I'd like to share a few stories of the season from our schools and community, and I think we'll have a few pictures on the screen to help me explain some of the great things that's happening within the Palm Beach County School District. Wellington High School Student Council for over 20 years has brought joy to the students at Rosenwald Elementary School in South Bay. They have adopted this school. They love this school. 20 years in the making. At Christmas time each year, they bring friendship, fun, and plenty of toys, books, and games. They spend an entire day just loving the students. And all through the year, they keep up with Rosenwald to let them know we are one and we are here for you, the high school and the elementary school. And I was excited to have Superintendent Burke with me on Monday evening at the Christmas parade in Pahokee. Now, I know we're having a lot of parades. We had the big parade in Wellington on Sunday, and parades are going on all across the county. But parades make people happy. They make them look and see all of the children excited. It makes adults excited. So the parades are a wonderful time, especially at Christmas time, as we love on each other and spread joy. I also want to say that it's important for us to give at Christmas, to give our love, our attention, and our support to those who have least. And on yesterday in Loxahatchee at the home of Jeff and Mary McNichols, there were a whirl of bicycles everywhere, tricycles, all of them heading to the Glades region, truckloads of toys and gifts for Christmas. so that children will really have a wonderful time in the season of joy and fun. And I want to thank those cooperations that have really helped us with donations. U.S. Sugar, United Healthcare, Palm Beach Sheriff's Foundation, Telenol, and the McNichols Associates. And guess what? We got a present from Santa for West Tech, 2 new red trucks for our CDL program, just in time for Christmas. And the Weiss Construction Academy from Seminole Ridge, they do it. They have built 9 homes. 9 homes. The 9th house was delivered to Belglade just a few days ago. A wonderful family will receive the keys to a new home with the dedication in 2022. Thank you, students, teachers, and staff, Principal Campbell, for making it happen. It's a special time of the year to bring joy. And just today, the Pahokee Women of Tomorrow. Our women, we're training them to be great. These are our girls who are working so hard to be poised and to be beautiful and to know there's a place of leadership in the world for them. They had their annual Christmas luncheon at Pahokee Middle Senior High School. The tables were set, the food was delicious, and they know they're going to great places and great heights. Pahokee is known for robotics, and just a few weeks ago, Spot the robot was there. And with the robotics team, a winner within the state and nation, Pahokee, you're on the move. And I must say to all of us here with the School District of Palm Beach County, our team, as we celebrate the holidays, I want you to know it's your time to pamper yourself, to enjoy the holidays. We know that you work so hard for us to make this school district great. We take care of our students, our teachers, our staff, and now it's time for you to relax and enjoy. So enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy holidays. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Andrews. Dr. Robbins?
Thank you. Yep, this is the time of year where we celebrate many, many things, positive things, and I'm with you, Mr. Burke. Amen for the end of 2021. So I always say merry, happy, happy. So, and it actually should be merry, happy, happy, happy. Maybe another one. But Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy New Year. I am always self-assigned to lift up the principles of Kwanzaa at this time of year, the Nguzo Saba. So, you know, Kwanzaa is a non-religious holiday from December 26th through, somebody correct me real quick, January 1st. And the principles are, and correct me because I'm going to mispronounce something and I know it. I always do. Umoja, which is unity. Kujijakalia, self-determination. Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Ujama, which is cooperative economics. Nia, which is purpose. Kumba, creativity. And Imani, which is faith. And so while Kwanzaa celebrates Pan-Africanisms and the principles of Pan-Africanism, these principles apply to all. And I hope that we will all, in our own way, celebrate each of these holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Vice Chairwoman Brew?
Thank you. And so tonight, along the same note, I just really want to wish everybody in here a very happy holiday season. For those who celebrated Hanukkah, I hope you had a good holiday. Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. To all our employees, to all of our constituents, to all the parents, guardians, students, I'm glad 2021 is over. Now is the time for all of you to take a deep breath, be with your families, enjoy this holiday season, and don't think about all the issues that are here because they're going to be here when we come back. So it's time to turn off your alarm clock, give each other hugs and kisses, and let's make 2022 a fabulous year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Chairwoman Brew. So instead of repeating all of the thank you and happies, I just want to actually thank our district staff throughout the district. I won't, like Mrs. McQuinn, name particular divisions, but it's been an extremely stressful year for all of our employees. And you've risen to the challenges that have been put before you. The employees in this district have been outstanding to help us get through a very trying year. Hopefully, a pandemic that'll not occur again for another 100 years when I'm well gone, hopefully. But I want to thank all the employees out there for all they did for our children over the last year. You did a terrific job of taking care of the most vulnerable people in our care, which is our children. I also, at this time, need to read the in memoriam that we typically do at this regular meetings once a month of the employees that have passed away. Recognize them and their families. Tamara Drock, she was a teacher at Egret Lake Elementary. She was born in 1974 and she died in November of 2021. Michelle Girardin, a teacher, Palm Beach Gardens Elementary. She was born in 1969 and she died in September of 2021. And Mark Smith, a teacher at Jupiter High School. He was born in 1965 and he died in October of 2021. If we could take a moment of silence for them and their families. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Mrs. Howard, Diane Howard, the Director of Risk Management. We've had the opportunity to work with her for many years, and we wish her a long, healthy, and happy retirement. One of our attorneys in the General Counsel's office, Melissa McCartney, she's been a great help to all of us. She's a senior risk attorney, and she's leaving to be a partner in another law firm in insurance defense. So we wish her well in her new career with the private firm. And of course, I'd like to recognize the outstanding job done by Mrs. Bass. She has been a valued colleague, a source of sunshine in the board office, even in the darkest of times, and she is a friend to all of us. Mrs. Bass, homegrown graduate of John I. Leonard High School, certainly could not have predicted how this amazing district would have grown and evolved when she first joined the staff in 1981. She impressed everyone around her right from the start. In 2006, Mrs. Bass earned the role of executive secretary for the board. Then in 2013, she was promoted to executive secretary of board minutes and clerk of the board in July of 2013. Mrs. Bass, you will leave some very big shoes to fill, but as you walk towards your exciting and hopefully relaxing new chapter, I wish you all of the happiness you so richly deserve. You'll have more time to cherish your precious granddaughter, work in your garden, remodel your new home, and all the other simple pleasures that life has to offer. We will think of you often and always with a smile. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your dedicated service to the betterment of our students, staff, and school district. We wish you a long, healthy, and happy retirement. Don't cry, Mrs. Bass. She's held it off all day, but I can see the tears welling up there. So, Ms. Ayala.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to switch over to the other podium, if that's okay. And I'd like to invite Commissioner Melissa McKinley, who's in the audience today, to join me at the podium here to my right.
Welcome, Commissioner.
How are you? Thank you. So today is special, and we wanted to take this time to jointly honor students that participated in an art contest in our district. And this was actually brought forward to me by Commissioner McKinley and when she was president of the National Association of Counties, right? Close enough. And that is the National Association of Counties, or NACO, established the I Love My County Because art contest, and the purpose was to raise awareness about county programs and services that impact people's lives every day. All school districts of Palm Beach County students grades 1 through 12 were invited to create artwork for a Counties Matter 18-month calendar. NACO is distributing the calendar nationwide, and the artwork that won will be displayed at NACO's headquarters in Washington, D.C. So before I recognize the students that are part of our district that were winners and earned honorable mentions for their work, I'd like to give Commissioner McKinley a chance to say her words.
Thank you. And Ms. Bernard, I want to say happy early birthday and happy birthday to your daughter Kennedy. Your husband, my colleague, made sure that we recognized your birthdays today at our board meeting. I promise you it's mere coincidence that I am here at Nancy Bolton's first official board meeting. I am not here to steal her back, although we would certainly like to. I think my colleague, Commissioner Larry Johnson from DeKalb County, might be a little offended if I was trying to take his leadership role. I was the president of the Florida Association of Counties, but I do serve as one of 3 Floridians on the National Association of Counties Board of Directors. So it's quite an honor to be here today. If you could give me just a little bit of wiggle room, since I really haven't had an opportunity before we go in and talk about the art contest. I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you as board members. I want to say thank you to you as a parent. I want to say thank you to all of the moms that have kept you on your toes this year. My children were students. I'm going to rattle off. They went to Equestrian Trails Elementary, North Grade Elementary, Emerald Cove Middle School, Coniston Middle School, Suncoast High School, Palm Beach Central High School, and ultimately all 3 of them graduated with the International Baccalaureate diploma from Forest Hill Community High School. So I'm not sure how many districts I have crossed in my time as a parent. I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, was able to serve on the school advisory committees, attend the PTA meetings, volunteer in the classroom, and also struggle with parent drop-off and pickup lines. But also, I can't imagine. I know I've got 3 kids that were taking college classes last year during this pandemic. One of them got kicked out of her dorm while she was home for spring break, never imagined that she wouldn't go back for 6 months. My children, my own kids, have really struggled having to adjust to that virtual environment, which some of their classes are still in. But as a parent, I can't think, for me personally, there was a reason I didn't choose to homeschool my kids. One of us would not have survived the endeavor. But I can't imagine the struggle that so many parents went through trying to adjust and hold down jobs and deal with their children's mental health impact from all of the decisions that we had to make. As a public official, none of the decisions that we had to make over the last year were easy ones. And so I thank the public for their patience, and I thank you for all of your efforts, because I know those decisions were not easy. So now on to the good news. The National Association of Counties, with a partnership with Americans for the Arts, hosted this contest. I learned about it at one of my board meetings. I said, who can jumpstart that for me at the school district? I reached out to Ms. Ayala. She was all on board, and we were able to initiate that contest across Palm Beach County. There were 17 winners nationwide. 13 were winners, and 4 of them were honorable mentions. Of those 17, 4 came from Palm Beach County. 2 were winners and 2 were honorable mentions. The 2 winners are 1 winner from Palm Beach Lakes High School and an honorable mention from Palm Beach Lakes High School, a winner from Palm Springs Middle School, and an honorable mention from Palm Springs Middle School. I do have a copy of their artwork here on the calendar that I'll hold up as Ms. Ayala announces. I don't want to steal her thunder. I'll let her say the names first on the record. But thank you for letting me borrow her and letting me borrow your staff to be able to do this partnership with the National Association of Counties. Local government is where it's at, and we fight hard to protect home rule, as I know that you do as well. Decisions are best made at the local level, and it's really cute to see how these students interpret local government and what it means to them. I like to go into elementary school and career day, and they try to figure out what is it that you actually do, and I tell them that when you go to the bathroom and flush your toilet, I make sure that the water has somewhere to go. So anyhow, with that, I'll let Ms. Ayala introduce the winners, and thank you so much for giving me a little leeway to make some comments and say thank you, Merry Christmas, and Happy Kwanzaa.
Thank you, Commissioner McKinley. And also, we have this opportunity to thank you. The County Commission has been a great partner with the school district for many, many years, so we thank you for your constant support of our students. Thank you. Ms. Ayala?
Thank you. And thank you for those words, Commissioner McKinley. Sorry I ran over someone else to give you the title. So I know that we have some special guests here today, and if it's all right, I'd like to ask them, as I call you, to come and join us in the front. We have one of our students from Palm Springs Middle School with Principal McDonough, and I believe one of their art teachers, Mrs. Yornston, who are joining us today. I think we have Catherine Rodriguez in the audience. Come on up. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And Catherine, I would like Commissioner McKinley to be able to show us your artwork. Oh, okay. You were an honorable mention, so I'm so proud of you, and I just wanted to share this little certificate. And thank you for participating, and I'm so proud of you and your artwork. Let's get a nice picture, and thank you for joining us today. Congratulations. And Principal McDonough, while I have you here, I'm going to go ahead and give you the winner from Palm Springs Middle School is Courtney Travana Jones, who could not join us tonight, unfortunately, but I'm going to pass this along for you, her, okay? And here's her artwork. Thank you, Catherine. Keep drawing, okay? And next we have a winner and an honorable mention from Palm Beach Lakes High School. I believe that we have our winner, Ravia Facey, in the audience today. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Ravia Facey or Adonley Jeffrard. Is Dr. or Mr. Alfonso here, the principal from Palm Beach Lakes? Is anyone here? Hi. Oh, great entry. He has entry music. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you got a fan here. The winner drew a gator, but we love supporting. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. And hi, are you one of our art teachers? Are you Miss Fernandez? So good to have you here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the certificates for Adonai and for Ravia. And here's Ravia's artwork that won. It's a gator. Thank you all so much. And again, I'm so grateful to our district staff who took the time to invest in allowing our students this opportunity. The arts are so incredibly important to me and to our students as they get to creatively express themselves outside of academics alone. So thank you, Commissioner McKinley, for partnering with me on this, and thank you all for letting us honor our students a little bit.
Thank you. President Harrigan, would you like to give a report?
Thank you, Mr. Barbieri, and thank you, Mrs. Bass. You've been a wonderful role model for myself and my fellow successors over the years. Your dedication to us students does not go unnoticed. Since last month's meeting, all of the schools in our county met prior to Thanksgiving break. At this meeting, 2 resolutions were passed by our student body, one regarding junior privilege and to what extent it should be brought back for 11th grade students. The second resolution passed is one regarding the extraction of sexually suggestive terms from the dress code handbook. I will send Mr. Barbieri the written resolutions to look over and discuss further. Aside from that, schools participated in the annual Christmas parades. Our school's club, cheer, and dance teams, bands, ROTC, and sports team represented our county by showcasing all their talents and getting everyone in the holiday spirit. Schools have been preparing for midsummer week and preparing for winter break. Many schools have organized and carried out their winter spirit week, while others plan and prepare for midterm study parties so students can attend with their friends.
Are you through?
sorry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to cut you off. Thank you. So we'll move us into committee reports, Academic Advisory Committee. The Audit Committee report and the Construction Oversight Review Committee reports are attached to the agenda. District Diversity and Equity Committee.
The Academic Advisory Committee, she's actually stuck in traffic. I was in that traffic as well, so just wanted to give you that heads up. But first, I would like to wish Ms. Bass best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you so much for all the work you've done throughout the years, and I'll miss texting you before these meetings. And Tony, welcome, and look forward to formally meeting you. So good evening, Board Chair Barbieri, board members, Superintendent Burke, staff, and everyone in your respective places. Charmaine Postal, DDEC Chair. The District Diversity and Equity Committee met on November 18th in a hybrid fashion. The committee would like to welcome Dr. Robinson as the appointed member of the DDEC, where we welcomed her. In our October meeting, we discussed the Mental Health Response Crisis Plan, which addressed the involuntary evaluations. The district committee is scheduled to meet on, or was scheduled to meet on November 18th. I promise I write these notes the day of. So the committee requested an update at the February DDEC meeting. The committee in previous meetings requested P. Stewart to present on transgender in athletics for all members of the DDEC to have an understanding of any impacts in transgender in athletics in Palm Beach County. Mr. Stewart presented at this meeting transgender youth in athletics. The presentation included issues related to transgender youth that included everything from feeling safe on campus and greater risk for suicidal ideation. Students identified disproportionately in several categories, feeling unsafe at school or on the way to and from. They were disproportionately bullied at school, disproportionately cyberbullied through social media or other electronic means, and they participated in self-harm. For example, the percentage of students who seriously considered attempting suicide in the past 12 months was a total of 16.4%. White, 16.7, Black, 14.6, Latinx, 16.8, heterosexual, 13.4, and LGB, 35.9. The entire presentation can be found in the recording on the board website. The presenter, Mr. Stewart, recommended that the DDEC recommend allowing transgender women to participate in district sports that aligns with their gender identity, with understanding that we could not ignore the FHSSA policy or rule. The committee recommendations were as follows. A motion by Kimberly Sparrow, second by Dr. Gabriela Mendez, moved to make a recommendation to the board to send our district lobbyists to Tallahassee to lobby against laws that prevent trans students from playing sports of their gender identity. While we understand several board meetings back the board approved the legislative platform, this recommendation could be used for the future. Motion by Kimberly Sparrow, seconded by Juan Pagan, to develop a letter or statement in opposition to the Fairness in Women's Sports Act, also known as the Trans Athletic Ban. The letter, as described, will be drafted by the DDEC, presented at the general meeting of the DDEC for any revision, considered for adoption at the following meeting, then subsequently sent to the board to be considered. It would then be endorsed by the DDEC agencies and possibly other community organizations prior to being sent out to our legislative representative. The motion was carried unanimously. That previous motion was also carried unanimously. The last recommendation was a motion by Carl Donaldson, seconded by Sue Davis-Killen, to require training on the bullying and the risk factors regarding our students for all teachers and staff. That motion carried unanimously. This concludes the report for the DDEC. The next hybrid meeting is scheduled for January 18th, 2022 in the new year. And with that, happy holidays, happy new year, and have a wonderful break. Thank you.
Thank you. General Counsel, do you have a report?
No report, thank you.
Inspector General Michael, do you have a report?
Yes, I do. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Burke, and General Counsel Bernard. A top priority of the OIG has been to assess and evaluate current district-wide systems for improvement, efficiency, and accountability. This ongoing effort has revealed a number of areas of concern needing improvement. In general, there's an urgent need for reviewing, revising, and updating school board policies to achieve consistency, compliance, and accountability throughout the district. Recent developments have reinforced my concerns regarding specific areas which I have previously discussed with the board as well as during my meetings with executive district leadership. I recommend immediate action in these specific areas: HR policy, procedures, and processes, district-wide reporting, and ethics. Per policy 1.0921A and 5D, as well as Association of Inspector General Principles and Standards, the IG is charged with identifying areas of concern or deficiencies and providing options or recommendations to management for improvement. The OIG will be an active participant in the policy review and revision process in accordance with its current role. As such, the following recommendations are offered to the district for its consideration and action. First issue, HR policies and procedures do not address discipline for non-bargaining unit employees. The recommendation, develop a clear, consistent, and legally compliant HR policies, procedures, and processes which are applicable and communicated to all employees. These detailed policies and procedures, manuals, and employees' handbooks are provided to all employees with additional training for all employees and managers. Another issue, decentralized HR creates inconsistencies in hiring, onboarding, promotions, transfers, corrective actions, especially when in combination with weak or silent policies. Recommendation is to develop a consistent and comprehensive, seamless, and fully integrated HR model. Compliance cannot be optional or based on interpretation. Another issue, complaints are received by multiple departments or not reported at all due to unclear directives, responsibilities, or mistrust or fear of retaliation. I recommend that the district develop a district-wide reporting system which is codified in policy, or develop a detailed policy specifying which complaints are reported and to whom. Finally, the ethics policy lacks meaningful training and is limited to a perfunctory once-a-year video. We need to develop an active ethics policy with a top-down approach. Ethics training should be ongoing, interactive, and involve managers, supervisors, and frontline staff and work groups. The above issues and recommendations are not all-inclusive, nor am I suggesting that one issue is definitive in nature. However, I have attempted to identify the most pressing issues exemplifying the critical need to address the policy changes in departmental processes and a comprehensive and district-wide approach. I met with the superintendent to discuss these recommendations and to forge a plan to work collaboratively to implement and development of recommended policy changes, including scheduling of board workshops. I want to thank each of the board members, the superintendent, the general counsel, and all the district staff for their support, and I wish everyone a happy and safe holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Inspector General Michael. We'll keep the board, you and the superintendent, I'm sure we'll keep the board updated on where we're going with this. Correct?
Most definitely.
Thank you. That'll take us to our speakers, elected officials, and delegates. I'll call all 5 of you at the same time. Just come up to the microphone. Actually, Commissioner McKinley already spoke. President Gavrilos from the Education Foundation, Jen Martinez, President of the Florida PTA, Laura Fellman, President of Palm Beach County PTA, and Claudia Kirk-Bartow, Junior Achievement of Palm Beach Treasure Coast. President Gavrilos, go ahead.
Thank you. And to the 7 elected school board members and the superintendent, you were very gracious tonight in thanking the staff for the work they've done. I think we need to thank you. The last 2 years have been a nightmare, and somehow you've navigated this quagmire with grace, dignity, fairness. It's easy for the public to sit here and throw rocks, but you've taken them and you've done it with a great deal of grace and dignity, and I want to thank you as the CEO of your education foundation. Our job is to connect the business community to the world of education, and I have 4 points I want to get through tonight showing the growth of some of these business partnerships. The STARS Reading Program was initiated by a grant from TD Bank. Last year it served Orchard View and Pinecrest Elementary Schools, the K-1 program. I'm very excited to say tonight that the Jim Moran Foundation has committed $25,000 to the STARS program to expand it now K-2 to 2nd grade and including Cross Point Elementary School. This is a program with incredible outcomes. 80% of the children who are in this program experience an increase in their reading scores, and 96% of the children in the program experience a year's growth in reading scores in less than a year's time. These are the kind of outcomes that we want to fund, and we do it with partners like TD Bank and the Jim Moran Foundation. Second partner, Verizon. Superintendent Burke, you were very gracious, along with Jay Bogus last week, to attend the ribbon cutting at the Verizon STEM section at our Red Apple Supply. This is the second year that they're sponsoring the Digital Inclusion Plan. Now, you're talking to a guy who navigates using paper maps. Through Verizon's grant, they're giving our young people virtual reality goggles, earbuds, all the technological items they need to really compete in a global economy. And so a huge thank you to Verizon. Many of you are aware, as I sent an email out last week, the growth of Red Apple Supply. I'm going to save the big number for the last, Chairman Barbieri, if I may, but compared to last year, the entire academic year, we served 1,503 teacher shops. Just this semester alone, we've had 1,358 teacher shops. Last year, we served 63 schools. We're already serving 67. In the entire last year, we served 50,502 students. This year alone, in just the first semester, we've served 51,159. And the big number that we're pleased to announce, and Marcia, where are you? We did it at Pahokee Middle School, and you were there that day. Last year, Chairman Barbieri, we distributed $1,181,000 in school supplies. This semester alone, Red Apple Supply has distributed $1 million and $26,000 in school supplies. We cracked the $1 million mark in one semester. And folks, as they used to say in Al Jolson's time, you ain't seen nothing yet. The final piece of the puzzle, the partner that we're bringing to the table, Chairman Barbieri, you had a lot to do with this, is our new growing partnership with the Miami Dolphins. We had a second opportunity to volunteer with the Dolphin staff. Superintendent Burke, you were very gracious that day and came down and spent the whole day working very hard. Frank, I don't want to say Mike did a better job, but not only did they do more Wi-Fi extenders, but the Players Social Impact Committee has committed an additional $100,000 to support this effort. And on January 9th, at the game between the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins, they will be bringing Superintendent Burke and myself onto the field at halftime to do that presentation. I just want to dispel any fake news rumors. I will not be wearing my Cheesehead or a Green Bay Packer jersey that day. But we certainly want to thank the Miami Dolphins, their Players Social Impact Committee, and all of our incredible business partners who are making this growth possible. Superintendent Burke, your presence at these various events means more than you'll ever know. Chairman Barbieri, members of the school board, we are your education foundation, serving the needs of the students, teachers, and students and schools in the finest school district in Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gavrilis. Thank you for everything you've done all year for us. Thank you. Are there any other speakers here that I called? Jen Martinez, Florida PTA.
Or Claudia Kirk-Bartow, Junior Achievement of the
Go ahead,
Palm Beaches.
ma'am.
Good evening, Chairman Barbieri, Vice Chair Brill, board members, and Superintendent Burke. And, of course, Carol Bass, thank you for allowing me to be up here tonight. Thank you for your support. I have three things I just wanted to cover this evening. Tell you a little bit about High School Heroes, follow up on some things that Erica Whitfield said about Education Day for Leadership Palm Beach County, and our 3DE program at Lake Worth High School. So our JA High School Heroes provides leadership development opportunities to high school students to deliver our JA programs to the elementary students. Through this collaboration, students use problem-solving skills, leadership skills, and critical thinking while earning community service hours. In the past month, we've had the opportunity to work with Jupiter Latinos in Action, and they went to Jerry Thomas Elementary, and Lake Worth Early Childhood Education students went to Cross Point Elementary and taught kindergarten and first grade. And our goal for this year is to have 420 high school heroes and collaborate, obviously, with more high schools and more elementary schools. Yes, we were a part of Leadership Palm Beach County's Education Day. Katie Spitzig, our Vice President of Education, is in the class of 2021 with Ed Tierney and was a part of the committee to plan Education Day. And she oversaw the panel of students, and you would be so proud of those young people from Palm Beach Gardens High School, Suncoast Community High School, William T. Dwyer, and Lake Worth Community High School. So they were awesome and very open and honest about what they thought about what was going on in the schools. So I just wanted to thank all of you for helping plan that and educating our future leaders in the community. And last, but of course certainly not least, is our 3DE program at Lake Worth High School. 3DE by Junior Achievement is really changing the education process by bringing classroom learning to life through the incorporation of real-world experiences, which focus on their post-secondary journey. In addition to reading, writing, and arithmetic, students incorporate competencies like data analysis, problem solving, cultural agility, collaboration, and other useful skills into their education journey. This allows them to leave high school not just with information they've learned, but the knowledge of how to apply it in their jobs and careers. All of this learning is accomplished through the case studies based around real problems from local and national business partners such as Arby's, Home Depot, Delta, ReliaQuest, Spanx, Truist, Bank of America, Marine Industries, and many more. We currently have 300 students, 9th through 11th grade at Lake Worth Community High School in the program, and next year we'll be expanding to our first freshman class at William T. Dwyer High School. So we're really excited about that. And lastly, of course, wishing you all of the holiday extravaganza to have a healthy and happy, safe new year. And we're excited to continue our work in the community and again exceed that 50,000 students reached this year. So thank you all for what you do every day.
Thank you, Ms. Bartow. Thank you, too. Jen Martinez, Florida PTA, or Laura Feldman, County PTA. Okay, board members, we have the consent agenda. No. Pardon me? We'll take the agenda topic speakers now. We have 4 of them. I'll call you in the order that I have you on the list, but come to the microphone whenever. Whoever gets there first can speak. Jamie Lehman, Jen Showalter, Alexandria Niesenbaum, and Dr. Suzanne Page. Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Jamie Lehman. I was listening to the Inspector General talk about a problem with ethics, and I'd like to speak about a foundation, education foundation grant that's being given, I believe, to Palm Beach Lakes High School. I think that's nice that they're getting the money, but when I went online and I looked at the board members for the foundation, I'm a little concerned. There's HBK. HBK is an intimate partner of George Soros. A few things I just got off the internet regarding George Soros. He's corrupted the criminal justice system. Quote, on the payroll of George Soros are a long list of politicians, journalists, judges, bureaucrats, and political agitators masquerading as members of a civil society organizations. George Soros links to Gavin Newsom and California corruption. Gavin Newsom received a free house valued at over $3 million from his cousin and business partner who signed it over to Newsom. All of that's George Soros related. George Soros donated $3 million in dark money to Black Lives Matter activists. Well, we know that Black Lives Matter are communists. They are Marxists. They are not for the family. They are trying to destroy the nuclear family and destabilize our country. So I'm very concerned. U.S. Sugar, I don't know if it was Miss Andrews mentioned U.S. Sugar. Apparently, they're online as being in major litigation with our government because they don't feel that we should have any competition, that they should have total control over the price and the quality of sugar for Southeast region of the United States. I'm not in favor. TD Bank, let's see, that they're on the Education Foundation board too. TD Bank now faces court-approved racketeering charges. TD Bank to pay $20 million to settle Ponzi scheme lawsuit. And it goes, there's pages of it, pages. So where are the ethics? Please tell this room, please share with this room what the vetting process is for these corporations.
Thank you, ma'am. Jen Showalter.
Sorry, I'm vertically challenged. I'm Jen Showalter, concerned parent, here again to address agenda items such as P2. I, along with citizens in Palm Beach County, have addressed the board for a year on multiple issues, yet continue to be ignored. We're exercising our First Amendment, part of which states Congress shall make no laws abridging the freedom of speech or the right of the people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The people have repeatedly said it's not the board's place to teach sexually explicit materials, yet the agenda material shows the board is willfully doing so regardless. The county's one job is to teach academics. The district is supposed to teach kids how to read and do math, and it's failing epically. What is happening is the state and federal laws are being broken, such as Florida Statute 847.001, paragraph 3. Child pornography means any image depicting a minor engaged in sexual conduct, as well as 6, 8, 10, plus 847.012, paragraphs 3A, 3B, 5, and 6. Florida Citizens Alliance, along with the assistance of the Pacific Justice Institute, submitted public records requests to Palm Beach County. The requests were to figure out where and how materials that break the law were being used. They found 74% of objectionable materials confirmed to be used here in Palm Beach County.
Ms. Showalter, hold on 1 minute. Stop the clock, please. Ms. Showalter, did you say you're speaking on P2? That's a personnel addendum.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote the wrong thing down. It's at the very bottom of the agenda. It's on the sexual reproduction material. I just miswrote it. Sorry.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. Violations of these laws are considered a third-degree felony. Florida statutes like 847.0110122 clearly prohibit the propagation of sexually explicit materials in schools. Statute Chapter 847 must be enforced, but is being ignored by the board. Florida has the third highest rate of sex trafficking in America. We had Epstein picking up our own students. So these materials are willfully grooming our children to be sex trafficked. Parents are told that they can't get a copy of the materials. According to the Florida statutes, they have the right to have all access to materials given to their children. Florida Statute 1003.46 says the expected standard for all school-aged public school students is to teach abstinence from sexual activity outside of marriage, to teach the benefits of monogamous heterosexual marriage, and provide instruction and material that is age and grade appropriate for the student. Yet the board is adopting materials from One Love, which violates all of the above. And today there were photos taken from multiple sources of an LGBTQ reboot flag flown under the American flag at the Conservatory School in North Palm Beach. That violates multiple Florida statutes. Citizens have constitutional rights as individuals to address grievances and make sure their kids aren't being taught illegal materials. We, the parents, are here to demand our elected officials remain accountable under the laws which govern all of us. Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am. State your name, please.
My name is Alexandra.
Go ahead.
Can I start?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Alexandra. I strongly oppose the necessity of subject human growth and development, or at least what it stands for. I learned from the principal of my son's school that the subject is a district developed and no textbooks exist. How convenient You created an open platform for any your propaganda. According to the proposal, you are planning to teach our kids family roles, family resources, decision-making, and healthy relationship. Are you kidding me? Who gave you the right to teach our kids what family is? Who created the definition of healthy relationship? Our children have parents or guardians to do this job. Plus, each family is unique. It have different roles. We don't need your co-parenting. I strongly oppose any discussion on reproductive system if it's not part of science biology and should be introduced only in high school for students by choice. The principal stated, we do not discuss sex at elementary level other than to say that it's one of the ways HIV may be transmitted from an infected person. Is this a joke? What is the reason to introduce HIV issue to students under 11? And I strongly encourage the board to read the book, 1984, by George Orwell. Our children do not belong to Big Brother. Or in this case, your Democrat Liberal Party, which 100% presented on this board. Another question is where my tax money goes. Mr. Barbieri told me, mentioned that our board don't have enough money to pay electricity bill. My suggestion, remove unnecessary toxic subjects. I know I can opt out my son from human growth and development. It will be my second opt-out during this year. My first opt-out was library class, which is not about reading books. It's about motivating kids against parents, against trusting parents. I have a feeling, guys, that this board enforcing me to opt out my son from public school education. Thank you.
General Counsel, it's my understanding when I saw this on the agenda, I inquired of you. This is required by the State Board of Education and state law. Is it not required?
Correct.
And the state law says that parents can opt out, but we have no choice but to teach this in the classrooms. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to get that on the record. Dr. Suzanne Page.
Thank you for allowing me to speak with you this evening. For the better part, since 1976, I have been an educator, so I have been in the trenches with our kids. As written, I have concerns about the reproductive health and disease educational instructional materials, and I want to share my concerns with you now. Number one, as written, the program allows enough latitude so that anything can be included in the program. As written, the program tramples on parental rights, which we know came into law in July of this year. Number two, regarding age-appropriate material. Who decides what's age-appropriate material and what methodology do they use to decide age-appropriate material? Number three, when will the documents associated with this program be available for review and inspection by the public? Number four, I understand the parental opt-out, which I think is excellent. However, my concern is where is the accountability? In other words, if a student does not participate, where's the guarantee that he or she won't be bullied, as we want our children to feel comfortable and safe, especially at school? Number five, is the intent to deliver this program in a co-ed setting, which I object to. And my last point is that while parts of the program would be beneficial to the student, any topic, any information dealing with reproductive health or sex education belongs to the parents, not with a form of government. Thank you for your time.
I understand that the president of the Palm Beach County PTA is here. President Feldman, would you come up?
Hi, good evening, and sorry for my delay in getting here. Traffic was not easy tonight. Do you also want me to go ahead and give the Academic Advisory Committee report?
Yes, go ahead and give both.
Okay, so I will start with that. Good evening, everyone. For the Academic Advisory Committee report, during Monday night's meeting, we saw a presentation from the Student Wellness Safe Schools regarding discipline issues. This year, Palm Beach County schools have seen an increase in school violence, similar to increases seen across the United States. There have been increases in harassment, intimidation, and threats of targeted violence towards students and teachers. We looked at a breakdown of the data, comparing data from this school year to pre-COVID information. We noticed that there is a noticeable increase in suspensions as well. However, the disaggregated data by race, ethnicity, free and reduced lunch, exceptional student education, English language learners, etc., was not presented. While school staff and principals can analyze the incidents at their school to understand the causes and issues that led to each of these incidents, committee members asked about an analysis at the district level to see whether there are trends that need to be addressed. There was also a question as to the correlation between incidents and the school climate. The committee was informed that the school climate surveys had not been completed since COVID began. With the results from this year's SEQ surveys, this analysis can be done. Following questions about training related to discipline incidents, staff gave a brief overview of the training topics that are covered and stated that they do see an impact of the training where there is a reduction of discipline incidents. During our meeting in February, we will review the disaggregated data and the data relating to the trainings and their impacts, as well as the root causes if available. In our March meeting, we plan to go over the new English language arts literacy implementation in K through 2, with a focus on understanding the phonics components as compared to the Wilson Foundation's program. Thank you for your time and happy holidays to all. And now switching hats. As president of Palm Beach County Council, I'm honored to be here. During the last few weeks, many of our PTA units have found ways to express their thanks and appreciation for school staff who have worked so hard on behalf of Palm Beach County's children. We're very excited that now our local units have more PTA members than last year. Congratulations to all who have worked to make this happen. With membership, we make PTA's voice stronger, which helps our advocacy efforts on behalf of all children. We have a few upcoming events. The Reflections Art Competition entries are due to the County Council by December 22nd. For more information about submitting them, please email reflections.pbccpta@gmail.com. On January 12th at 7 p.m. via Zoom, County Council will be holding our next general meeting and training. We look forward to returning from break and starting the next semester off strong. On January 24th, we are co-sponsoring a special virtual event with Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital for a presentation entitled COVID-19 in Children. During this presentation, a board-certified pediatric allergist immunologist will cover how to differentiate your child's symptoms from the common cold, flu, and COVID-19, along with a brief update and education options for the flu and COVID-19 vaccines. To register for this event, please check County Council's Facebook page or email wellness.pbccpta@gmail.com. As I mentioned last month, Florida PTA has 2 events coming up that are fantastic opportunities. Florida PTA's Legislative Conference in January and Florida PTA's Leadership Convention in July. There is information about both of these events on the Florida PTA website. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again for your time and happy holidays to all.
Thank you, Ms. Feldman. Same to you. Board members, that'll take us to approving the consent agenda unless any of you have anything else to pull off of it this time. We need a motion. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Which now takes us to new business. FC3, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, I recommend the board approve architect contingency use authorization number 1 in the amount of $117,800 to Sikovich Architects for the Grove Park Elementary School Modernization Project, and authorize the chairman and superintendent to finalize and execute all related contract documents.
Motion. Vice Chairwoman Brill, seconded by Mrs. Whitfield. Discussion. Dr. Robinson.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't carve out the time to watch the Construction Oversight Review Committee meeting, but I see this, there's a change in here to go from using steel to concrete, and it looked like that was being done because the price of steel was going up. So my question is just, and what impact does that have on the life of the building or the safety, health, electricity bills, anything regarding the building?
It has zero impact.
Zero?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, steel and concrete are comparable.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we have many buildings built with either one, with both of those. We have many schools built with both.
Okay, thank you. And then just to follow up, and this is really kind of connected but off topic. On the Construction Oversight Review Committee report, they started, and I don't remember seeing this before, where they would say no objection to proceed as opposed to other language which was like agreed to be on consent or something. Like what's the difference in how they phrase that?
Same difference. Yeah, there's no difference. I think it was just a matter of the person who was making the motion may have phrased it differently.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Sanchez.
Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. FMPA 5.
I recommend the board approve the award RFP 22C-028G for online tutoring services for the period of December 16, 2021 through May 26, 2022, and authorize the superintendent and board chair to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Motion by Ms. Ayala, seconded by Mrs. Whitfield. Discussion? Ms. Ayala?
Thank you. I just wanted to pull it to give a huge gratitude to our staff who worked really hard on this project for a year now. Working with a program that will provide 24/7 online tutoring for our students will not only help address gaps in private tutoring that exist, but also address the learning loss that occurred and extend the learning from just a school day into continuous learning and interacting with education. So I'm really excited about this and looking forward to working with the paper team, and glad that they were awarded the contract, and I want to thank everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Dr. Robinson?
So thank you for that. I couldn't resist the urge to just add a little bit since one of my trigger words was mentioned, which is homework. And so I also support this. I'm really appreciative that students will have access to this 24/7 assistance. But I just want to make the point, and I'm just going to say it in public because I've been saying it in private, is I'm hoping that we will work with our community partners and our after-school programs to shift from doing tutoring all the time, which is standards-based, and shift to homework assistance, which will further the learning that should have taken place in the school day. In the olden days, that's what we had, right? So the teacher taught whatever during the day, and the homework supported that, so you would deepen your learning. I think in this high-stakes accountability system, we've gotten away from that, and we have community partners who mean all the good in the world, but they're tutoring students based on the standards disconnected from the lessons learned earlier that day. And so I just want to put it out there. I've been kind of badgering anybody who would listen about this, and so since you used my trigger word, homework, I thought I'd put it out in the universe. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. FMPF 1.
I recommend the board receive and accept the monthly purchasing and disbursement report as submitted.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Vice Chairwoman Brill. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
6-1.
I'm sorry, 6-1 with Dr. Robinson in opposition. FMPF 5.
I recommend the board approve the contract with Educational Partners International, LLC, to provide international educators to the school board not to exceed $7,952,000 annually for an initial period of 3 years with 2 one-year renewal options, and authorize the superintendent and board chair to finalize and sign all necessary documents.
Motion by Mrs. McQuinn, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Discussion? Ms. Ayala.
Thank you again. And again, this has been a long haul and a long time getting here. We worked really hard to meet with various companies, so I want to give a shout out to Dr. LaCava, Mr. Tierney, and Ms. Frederick for getting this deal together to bolster our teaching resources. This is a big one for me, not only because of capacity, but because we're going to be working with educators that come in prepared to speak in different languages and help us expand those programs. So thank you all for making this happen. I look forward to working with them as well. Thank you.
Ms. Brill, then Mrs. Andrews.
Thank you, and I just also wanted to say thank you. This has been a long time coming. For many of us, we started talking about this, I think, 3 years ago, and then COVID hit. And this is a great opportunity for us to be able to have other teachers come in, as Ms. Ayala said, from other countries, but to bring their expertise that will definitely help us with our dual language programs, which in many schools are struggling to get the teachers. So we're a little bit behind. I believe that they're usually months ahead for bringing the students in, but better late than never, and I'm just very excited to see this on the agenda. Thank you.
Mrs. Andrews, then Mrs. Whitfield.
And thank you. I'm so happy to have this. Palm Beach County has been a front runner on international recruiting back in the day. And having this contract, it's just at another level to really bring the teachers in, to help them with housing, to help them with acclimation into Palm Beach County, certainly to help them with our dual language programs. But we've just got to be ahead of the game, and this is an exciting night for me to see this on the agenda. Pretty pleased, pretty happy. Thank you.
Mrs. Whitfield.
Yes, thank you. I just want to reiterate, finally, finally, finally. I can't believe this is finally here. We've been talking about this for so long that I honestly couldn't believe to see it. The day has come. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to staff who made this happen. I know this was definitely not an easy lift, and I'm very proud that the school district is doing this. So just a huge thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. P2, Mr. Superintendent.
I recommend the board approve the personnel addendum as amended.
Motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Mrs. Whitfield. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. That'll take us to the public hearing item, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, this is just an informational item. We made this available for the board for any questions in the public's. We've allowed speakers tonight to this item. There is no recommendation. This item will actually come back to the board on January 19th for approval.
Any board members' discussion? Okay, that'll take us to non-agenda speakers, I believe. Board clerk? Yes? Non-agenda speakers. I'll call you three at a time. Please come up to the microphone that's closest to you. Brother Carl Muhammad, Ezekiel Edmonds, and Mary Monroe. Please state your name when you come to the microphone. Please watch the clock. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm here to speak on a concern of great importance, the lack of substitute teachers and proper compensation for substitute teachers. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mary Monroe. I'm a retired, highly effective teacher of 22 years with my master's degree. I was Palm Beach County's Teacher of the Year in 2013, and I have now returned to the classroom out of the urgent need to help as a substitute teacher. As you are aware, there is a shortage of not only teachers, but of substitutes, and one of the reasons for a sub shortage is the low pay for subs. As a retired teacher, I earn just under $15 an hour, paid 6.5 hours for middle school or 7 hours for high school, both with required unpaid time on campus. A sub with at least 30 hours of college would make $80 for a typical day in middle school. I ask you, would you set your alarm for 5 a.m., dress, pay for gas, and work all day for $80 with absolutely no other benefits? I think not. Target's starting pay is $15, and Aldi's is $18 an hour. The number one complaint of teachers is feeling that they can never take a needed absence for health or personal reasons because it puts a hardship on their colleagues and students. Because if there's not a sub, one of three things happen at the school, and I've seen this. Usually the students are split up into like groups of 6 and go into additional classrooms. So the teacher that has his or her own class has an additional 6 or 7 students, or they herd all of the different classes into the auditorium and they work on computers, or colleagues have to give up their planning periods to watch a class during their needed planning period times. Teachers are leaving the profession, and I, for one, am a strong advocate of teachers. 3 family members of mine are currently teachers in Palm Beach County due to a little bit of mother's encouragement. But even the application process to become a sub is complicated, and subs have to pay $120 out of pocket for a course and fingerprinting to even apply. So some people could not even afford to apply for the job. I can see that there is a $3 salary supplement for subs at some schools that are considered high need. but consider the fact that all schools this year are high need, and this $3 an hour supplement should immediately apply to all schools for all levels of substitutes. I feel you have an untapped market with retired teachers who would love to return, but when I talk to retired teachers, they get insulted when they learn that they will make less than $15 per hour. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Brother Carl.
Carl Muhammad, and I come from the ADOS community, the American descendants of slave children, and we wanted to bring some flowers to Ms. Bass because not only through the epidemic, through the pandemic and all the other areas, you have exhibited to our community the ability to communicate with us, which we find difficult because even in the equity audit, it said that the majority of the teachers don't know our children, don't know our community. And for whatever reason, the Creator gave you the ability to be able to help us. We really do appreciate it. But as we continue to look at the season of joy, I'm hoping that we would really look at Florida Statute 1003.428. It's important to every human being in the state of Florida because it was passed 28 years ago before all of this crazy stuff that they're talking about now came into place. And I think we here in Palm Beach County have been being prepared for this so that we can really be the exemplary school district that we always boast that we are. And I do understand that many of the people that do touch the mic have been victims of this same kind of miseducation that we all know that the state of Florida have identified, and we got to change it. And there's a lot of challenges that comes along with that. Now, we've been meeting as a community with a couple of your superintendents, 3 of your superintendents, and it seems like we come to a stalemate because we're not able to move forward. I think we're going to have to bring some new products if we're able to achieve the kind of success that we're really trying to achieve. And we as a community, we're standing poised. We're reaching out to everybody up on that board because we need to work as a team. And we don't want to come in here like some of these other people doing with all that arguing and foolishness. We're really trying to come from the world of academia with our intent to try to give you some kind of way to better understand ourselves and our children. And we need this as soon as possible. And lastly, we always say inside of our community, nothing about us without us. And what the problem we've always had in our community, most people make decisions for us based upon their own thought process, and it doesn't seem to trickle down to us. And this coming Sunday, from 1 to 2, we're going to have Ms. Mary Ann DuPont and Ms. Debbie Range, who are former employees of the school district who have their hands on the pulse of the movement of the Florida Statute. And we're going to be doing the pros and cons of that. And I think it'd be very beneficial for the school district to listen to some of that dialogue because it is important. And we'll be sharing that. I'll share that information, that Zoom information with you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Looking forward to talking to you, Mr. Burke. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Officer, if you'd get those flowers and bring them up to Mrs. Bass.
And thank you, Ms. Bass.
Mr. Edmonds, I called your name too, and I'll call 3 more. Carl Silverman, Jason Blunt, and Corey Smith.
I yield my time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Board Chair, Superintendent, board members, executive staff. My name is Corey Smith. I've lived in Palm Beach County all my life, a lifelong resident of Riviera Beach, except for the 7 years that I took for college and 3 of law school. I've recently come into some information regarding an exception from School Board Policy 5.01 regarding student assignment that the city of Boca Raton is going to be allowed to be exempt from, or at least have a variance with respect to boundary assignments. Now, it's overcrowding in the schools in Boca Raton, and I don't have a problem with the city looking to alleviate overcrowding and working with the school district to do that. That's what any city should do. However, when we look at the equity statements and the mission and vision of the School Board of Palm Beach County, we have to ask the old question, are we doing this in other communities? Again, I stated I'm a lifelong resident of Palm Beach County and a lifelong resident of Riviera Beach. I've lived through and experienced firsthand when equity isn't afforded to all the communities here in Palm Beach County. Back in 1989, this district closed the high school that I went to called North Shore, which sat on the property where Bach Middle School of the Arts sits. It merged it with our rival Twin Lakes, and I became a member of the first graduating class from Palm Beach Lakes High. I'm proud of that because we made the best of a difficult situation. Now, how does that relate to this? In my city of Riviera Beach, our kids are bused all over the northern end of Palm Beach County. We're the only city that doesn't have a boundary school within its city limits. Over the years, the school district and the community has tried to alleviate or solve that problem. There have been various proposals to build a Riviera Beach High School, which failed at this board under a different iteration with different board members. So the point I'm making is this: when we talk about equity and we talk about fairness, we have to ask the question, are we doing this for everyone? Are we making an exception just because Boca donated some land and therefore we want to work with them? That's fine. But are we doing the same for the kids in Riviera Beach? It's been 33 years since this school district closed the old Suncoast High School and made it into the Suncoast that we all know and are proud of. Since those 3 decades have passed, another high school has not been in Riviera Beach that has boundaries within the city. Our students are bused all the way from my mom's neighborhood in the southern end all the way up to almost in Jupiter, to Dwyer. My neighborhood where I live, my daughter goes to Palm Beach Gardens, which isn't as far a hike, but it's still outside of the city limits. Please consider these things when you're making these exceptions. Thank you.
Carl Silverman or Jason Blunt? Rhonda Miller, Jamie Lehman, and Ann Hirsch. No, come on up, ma'am. State your name for us.
My name is Ann Hirsch. Thank you for allowing me to address the board. Your mission, vision, and equity statements on your website reek of critical race theory, which is in direct violation of the ban placed by Governor DeSantis on teaching it in our schools. A bill was just submitted to cement this into law, and I'm very sure that it will pass. Critical race theory is a theory. It is not a fact. Let me share some facts with you. From 2008 until 2016, America voted in a biracial president. We had 2 black attorney generals, 2 black Supreme Court justices, along with black members of Congress, state governors, mayors of major cities, and on and on. Out of 50 of the highest paid athletes in America, 33 are black. Out of the 10 highest paid actors in America, half are biracial, black, or minority. Black and other minorities have consistently risen to the highest positions of power in politics, academia, sports, and entertainment, among other industries. This would never happen if we were a structurally racist nation. Facts on our educational system. In 2002, the U.S. ranked #1 in the world in high school and college education. In 2009, we slipped to number 18 out of 36 industrialized nations. In 2018, we ranked 38th in math and 24th in science worldwide. Education is probably the single most significant mechanism used by different ethnic minorities or immigrants to lift themselves out of poverty. You are graduating functional illiterates because our educational system has failed our children. To my school board. Fact, Florida schools from pre-K to 12th grade ranked 27th out of 50 states. Based on the ranking, the competency score for all the school boards in Florida is 54%. That is a failing grade as far as I'm concerned. If you are truly interested in the welfare of our children, promote higher standards of excellence and give the children the skills they need to flourish in life. Don't fund divisive programs. We don't want mediocre, equitable outcomes. We want excellence in education for all of our children. Bring our schools to number one. Thank you.
Rhonda Miller, Jamie Lehman. Edward Niesenbaum, Alexander Niesenbaum, Jeff Buongiorno.
My name is Edward, and I'm a 5th grader. My school, Sunrise Park Elementary, is a woke school. It is not a principal's or the teacher's fault. It is your fault, and I can provide all the proof. First, you canceled Columbus Day. My teacher stated that learning about great explorers who discovered our country isn't part of the canceled culture woke curriculum. I did my own presentation about Columbus, and my school voted that he was a great historical figure and we should celebrate Columbus Day. Do you know what Thanksgiving is? If you don't, you should be kicked out from the school board. If you do, and you force a school curriculum about Thanksgiving, you should go to jail. Our teachers asked us to color 2 pictures of turkey. 2 pictures of turkeys. And talk about 13 dishes that we can eat during Thanksgiving. Not a word about brave pilgrims/Puritans who risked their lives for religious freedom and built a foundation for our country. Nothing about brave William Bradford, a Puritan leader who is an example of wise government. Not an example about Squinto, who helped the Pilgrims to survive the first winter. What is your real goal? If you ask me, you want to cancel American history and remove God from school completely. Then I received my report card and I learned that I magically meet standards for something I didn't learn and didn't have any assignments or tests. According to my report card, as a part of social studies, I learned historical inquiries and analyzes. I don't know what that is. Explorations and settlements of North America, colonization of North America, American Revolution, and birth of a new nation. This is a huge lie. It is the same as to receive a medical degree without attending medical school. In reality, we spent 5 hours during Constitution Week, and half of the time we'd been watching brain pop videos. I have 2 questions. Who intended this misinformation or initiated this misinformation, and how I was graded? I even received a certificate of academic achievement. I don't need a fake certificate for fake knowledge.
Go ahead, Ms. Niesenbaum.
My name is Alexandra, and I'm Edward's mom. The situation with language, art, and social study is critical in our district, or at least in our school. As of today, 12/15, not a single new word has been introduced, not spelling or definition, in 5th grade. Situation with social studies is even more critical. Based on my son's recent homework, we learned that he had to complete 26 slides about detailed life of Creek tribe. I don't have anything against learning Native American culture, but 26 slides about Greek tribe versus 0 slides about Pilgrim people who made a biggest contribution to the history of our country. It is shame and mismanagement. Line in the report card is very disturbing to our family. Fake grades providing kids bad example in teaching them dishonesty. Now I'm going to talk your language. I located systematic oppression of Christian and Jewish students. As my son stated, the importance of Thanksgiving was degraded to eating turkey. Main idea of Christian religious freedom was completely removed from the curriculum. And I'm afraid to even think about Christmas part of curriculum. I would be pleasantly surprised if name Jesus Christ is mentioned. Hanukkah lesson is another example of board systematic oppression. I interviewed 4 kids and asked them, what was the Hanukkah all about from your current lesson? The combined answer was, Jewish people lighting some candles and playing some silly games. My teacher made us to do some toys from paper. Bored. As a Jew, I feel discriminated. All Jewish holidays are about God, and Hanukkah is not an exception. Mrs. Karen Brill, you call yourself a Jew. Please explain the board that Hanukkah is not a silly game and it's not about dreidels. Or stop calling yourself a Jew. Hanukkah is about God's miracle and about brave Maccabee's brother who freed a second temple. Unfortunately, above are not isolated incidents. It's systematic discrimination from board against Christians and Jewish. I learned over these months is that you're not listening to us, not parents or students. The only way to get your attention is to get media or national exposure. So I don't even think to oppress our First Amendment right, decrease our public... Okay, thank you.
Fiona Lachelles, Bailey Lachelles, Gregory Tammany.
Before I start, I had a scheduled agenda item. Is that section over, and there's a reason I wasn't called?
We didn't have your name on the list for agenda speakers, so you can go ahead and speak now.
Okay.
What's your name is Gregory Tammany?
Yes. All right, my name is Greg Tammany, District 3, concerning your vote on Policy 103. This is one of the topics, correct?
It's not on our agenda tonight. That's why you're under non-agenda speakers. So
Okay.
you can speak about it, but it's under non-agenda.
Could I skip that one and restart my time?
Yeah, restart the clock, please.
Thank you. All right, Gregory Tammany, District 3. To be a respectable member of our society, we follow our laws, and precisely that is what makes us civil. As I've stated each time, you are violating laws and failing terribly. It's no wonder our children are failing so badly. It's no wonder we have a school-to-prison pipeline. We've created these positions to educate, protect, and empower our children, and you are lowering the bar. For your sake, we warned you. We have strongly urged you to resign repeatedly because you have failed miserably, and you're doing it publicly. But that time has passed. I love the fact that you don't want the cameras on the parents. I love that you want to censor our voice as parents. If I was committing crimes against our children, I wouldn't want anyone to see this either. But you don't get that. Our civil society is built upon the foundations of agreed-upon laws. We listen to the aired grievances of our respected members of our civil society. By you wanting to censor and block the anger of parents defending their children, you make us aware you know this whole miserable show is wrong. As respectable members in our society, we keep the lights and cameras on. This show goes on. Smile, you're front and center stage, failing fabulously by oppressing and violating our kids in Palm Beach County. You failed, and we thank you because you put this on the world stage. We're here to make sure you regret that you did. You know what you're doing is wrong. You know you're failing. You're losing the civil debate, and you don't want anyone to see or hear your failures. Us parents have entrusted you with the most cherished people in our lives, our children. Our children have given our lives meaning, and it is our duty as parents to love them, nurture, educate, protect, guide, and raise them to be productive members of our society. We're here, Miss Ayala, not because we want to be on TV. We are here because each one of you are failing on all accounts. I'm happy to say we're almost at the end of your reign here. We will vote you out and hold each one of you personally accountable, and you made this a viral nationwide sensation. In other words, Fiona Strong. She is strong, and we the people have her back, and we will make each one of you infamous. Thank you.
Michael LaFavor, Sandy Matkovich, Jean Marie Naser. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
State your name, please.
Bailey Lachelles. When it comes to limiting public engagement at these meetings, Ms. Wedfield, you were quoted by saying people are not here to speak to us, rather they're here to talk to people on TV. Mr. Barbieri, you said some are more interested in creating a spectacle than engaging with the board. Shantoya Bernard, who wrote the policy, said it's certainly something for a lot of boards in the state that they're considering for safety reasons. When looking at the proposal, it goes way beyond shortening the length of comments here and actually limits what people can discuss and how we can discuss it. Am I the only one confused as to whether it's about safety, the media, or our First Amendment rights? Mr. Barbieri, how should we engage with you when you just tonight joked about your phones blowing up over a wrong date that was mentioned earlier, much earlier tonight? I don't think any of us worry about the media platform that you guys think you have here. It's great to see you guys putting up the photos and using this as a media platform as you did earlier tonight, though. I personally know, at least for myself, I don't come here to speak to the media. I come here to speak to this board because there are no other avenues with you guys. Emails aren't returned, phone calls are ignored. I never wanted to be here. I never thought I'd stand in this boardroom. I didn't know where the address was a year ago. But somehow this board forced me to be here. This board forced my 7-year-old to come and be here. For whatever reason, this board chose my daughter. Why? I'd love to know if you guys want to answer. We never asked for any of this. Neither did most of these parents, students, or stakeholders. Now we're sitting here with the poor me and fair safety card. No one is threatening anyone that I've seen at these meetings personally. I think you guys all continue to forget that the privilege in this room is yours, that you were voted in and allowed to sit here and listen to all of us. This board put themselves in the position of having us here as parents. You have awoken a large majority who have remained silent for far too long, and we're done. Speaking at these meetings is a First Amendment right. But this board seems to forget about the Constitution pretty quick. And Mr. Barbieri, finally, the popcorn-worthy quote. You said you have people telling you all the time that these meetings are popcorn, getting their popcorn ready. Maybe it's popcorn ready because of your overbearing, wrong-headed, unreasonable, biased, politically and union-driven actions at these meetings. Actions from indoctrinating our kids with CRT to playing pediatrician, trying to mask our kids for nearly 3 months. You said earlier, our most vulnerable population. Now you're attempting to strip our First Amendment rights. When will you realize that we as constituents and voters will not stand for it? We're not here for the media. We're here because of this board's actions. Thank you.
Go ahead, state your name, please.
You know
Sir.
who I am. Michael LaFavor. You guys don't get it, do you? This is not your school board. It's our school board. It's the people's school board. These are not your kids. They're our kids. You must realize by now that we're not going to stop fighting for our children's future, which is probably why you're biting down so hard on our First Amendment freedoms. Or maybe all it took was you being one up by a second grader. I never seen such a despicable group of cowards before in my life. Let me be on a school board so I can shut out parents and get my way. I mean, you could have at least tried to listen and, God forbid, compromise with us. But no, you just had to march right along with your Marxist agenda. You people have no clue what it is that you're supposed to be doing here. You do not have the right to shut out parents of the kids you mean to rule. The power to rule over our children is not yours. You can't cut our time because too many parents speak out against you. We are nothing more than the answer to your Marxism. We're not a threat to you. We're just a threat to your power. And because you are a threat to our freedom and our kids' freedom, we are not going to stop showing up. We are going to stop you. We're going to replace you. All of you. We'll see what's stronger, your power or our freedom. And that may scare some of you, but you chose to be on a board, answerable to your constituents. Well, that's us. Remember the bear you keep poking? Go ahead, poke us again. Try to cut our time some more. We'll show up here and protest every single day if need be. Because our kids are worth fighting for, and your Marxism is worth fighting. But it's clear that you're not up to the fight because I can tell that you're afraid. If you can't handle the pressure of being on this board, quit. You want to get down to real business? This is it. Coming to you straight from the parents of Palm Beach. Not this other agenda crap you got going on with your race-baiting, sexual disorientation. I have you brought up on charges. You bring that crap out around my kids, by the way. So enough is enough. Act like adults and handle the business people expect school boards to handle. Stop being so frail. You're embarrassing yourselves. You really think I want my kids to just cower in the face of adversity because they saw you do it? Now I'm telling you, the next time you try to silence or stop one of us from being present at our kids' school board meetings, I call the cops on you. Just remember, we didn't come knocking on your door. You brought this fight to us.
Robert Rosetto, Allison Rampersad, Angelique Contreras.
Hi. Is this on?
Yes.
Hi, Jean Marie Nacer. This is my first time here. I've watched on the sidelines on YouTube at home. Honestly, I'm going to cry right now. I do not have a child in the school system because I have watched for a year what these parents have come to this board and said how their children are being treated. I've watched this board make a mockery of these parents. And it is so sad to me that parents have come here saying how their children have been harmed by your policies and you turn a deaf ear. I have watched these parents. My heart goes out to them, and I have watched the actions of this board, not only on the mask issue, but on other issues. Frank Barbieri, I've heard you mention that there's not even a crisis team that's acting the way that they're supposed to when children are Baker Acted and arrested. That alone was enough for me to homeschool my child. I will not, as a taxpayer, sit on the sidelines anymore as this board makes a mockery of parents. To sit there and ignore parents, make a mockery with your popcorn comment, and I'm in your district, Frank. This is not entertainment. These parents are here for their most precious assets, their children. And whether or not you agree with them, you are not to make a mockery of them. You're here to listen and to cut out people's time and not listen as their children are harmed. And we know there's harm. And you know what? You were wrong. You were so wrong because the state legislature actually voted to give parents that choice. And you were wrong because courts upheld in our state that parents get the choice. Where is the apology? There's no apology to these parents. You know what there is? There's recourse. There's limiting their time to speak. And you want to cut non-agenda items? What about that gentleman here from Riviera Beach tonight? He was non-agenda. He's pleading for a school in his district. If you have non-agenda speakers, where will his voice be heard? You need to stop silencing parents. We've had enough. Enough. And I just want to end on this quote from a school board member. When people who look like us aren't in positions where decisions are made, we're often not thought of at all. Miss Ayala, that's divisive and that's racist. You don't need to look like someone to represent them. Thank you.
Go ahead, state your name, please.
Robert Rosetto. 3 minutes to address this board never seems like enough time, since there seems to be endless areas of immediate concern. But myself and everyone here do the best we can with the limited time. Some of my concerns about the material being taught includes, but is not limited to, CRT, LGBTQ, and overly sexual material to young children. God and religious symbols are not allowed in our schools, but LGBTQ flags can be flown with our American flag on the school flagpole. These are serious issues, and they need to be properly addressed. Unfortunately, you don't seem to listen or care about what many of us have to say. It's clear you've been extremely unhappy with the tremendous turnout of parents standing up and speaking out. You've requested additional police presence, limited chairs and entry, turned off mics on speakers, thrown people out, and even had parents unnecessarily arrested just for using our First Amendment right. Now you're looking to limit 30 minutes for each topic, which only allows 10 people to be able to speak? And who will be these lucky 10 speakers? Will they be your paid implants? Who's picking them? Anyways, there's roughly 166,000, or actually 190,000, total students enrolled in Palm Beach County when considering alternative education, virtual, and charter, which means there could be approximately 380,000 parents or guardians in our county with children enrolled in our public school system. And now you want to allow a maximum of 10 people the opportunity to speak about a topic? You're actively attempting to cancel and silence us. You're trying to take control of our children, and we will not allow it. School is meant to be for education and not indoctrination. I know you're tired of hearing from pissed off parents, but instead of listening to us and working with us to find a solution, you simply want to remove us. You seem to forget you work for us and are supposed to have us and our children's best interest in mind. Limiting and essentially removing public comment is not something that should even be considered by this board. Today, Governor DeSantis said when he introduced the Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act, also known as Stop Woke Act, that we have the responsibility to stand for truth, to stand for what is right. We have to protect our kids from some very pernicious ideologies that are trying to be forced upon them all across the country. Thankfully, this new legislation being introduced will prohibit CRT in K through 12 grades and give parents a private right of action to be able to enforce the prohibition of CRT and to collect attorney's fees. If you decide once again to not follow the law, like when you ignored the Parents' Bill of Rights and illegally forced masks on our kids, then we will be using legal action to come after you. The parents of Palm Beach County will not tolerate cultural Marxism. That's all I wrote today, but I have another 20 seconds, and I'm so disappointed in all of you. It's nice to see a few of your faces finally. It's been like months too late, but you can't stop us from coming and speaking about our children and what's going on in our schools. These are our schools, our kids, and you're working for us. You got to hear us. You got to work with us. You got to try and help the situation.
Go ahead, ma'am. State your name, please.
Allison Rampersad. As more parents and community members are stepping forward to address their children's educational issues, school boards are making it more difficult for that to happen. This board is entertaining shortening the speaking limit per person to 1 minute from 3, having one person speak representing an entire group for 5 minutes, not allowing speakers to be seen, just heard. Well, you may think these are good ideas, and certainly it's less time that you have to deal with parents asking questions that you don't want to answer. But curtailing parent involvement in their children's education isn't the way to go. Perhaps it's time to think outside the box, like they do in the business world. This body meets once a month, more or less. And we've heard complaints from some of you about how late you have to stay and other jobs that you have to work at. Well, first of all, that's irrelevant, because if you were running your own business, you'd have to stay until the job is done. Why not change the format of these meetings to include 2 to 3 annual town hall style events where parents and community have the opportunity to ask you questions and go back and forth on the important issues and even make some decisions together. Wow, what a concept. This could even be done at individual schools to make it easier. Here's another thought. Give parents the opportunity to assist in textbook and classroom resource material selection. Parents are, after all, the sole arbiters of what their children's education should consist of. Teachers are the facilitators of that content. Everything else is central to principles and values of the families and the excellent education of the students, period. Think about this. If you hired people to do a particular job and they did instead what they thought was best rather than what you wanted, how would you react? Be truthful. There's a lot of lip service from the Florida Department of Education and from the individual school boards, but students and their parents should not be blindsided. These are just a couple of suggestions. You should be able to come up with more.
Amy Kenny, Tuesday Gilliam, Blue Gilliam, Sean Mason.
Okay, hi. My name's Emmy Kenny. Hello. First of all, happy holidays. You all deserve a break, that's for sure. I hope you get the time to rest and recharge so we can come back to 2022 with revived spirits and fresh eyes to work on some of the things that are real issues in the district. And I want to highlight one of those issues today. So at the last DDEC meeting, the district presented some data that confirmed in numbers what I already know from experience. I already know it anecdotally. And that's that LGBTQ kids in this district are bullied all the time, severely, and many of them do not feel safe at school. 30% of students who identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual, so this isn't even including transgender children, 30% are teased and bullied at school because of their identity. So that's a third of gay kids. And this has real consequences. So when I was a mentor at Compass, which is an LGBTQ community center, a lot of those kids, most of the kids in the youth group there, were doing virtual school online. This was before COVID, because they were bullied so much at school. And now that we've seen what distance learning does to a kid's academic achievement, social growth, personal development, we know that it's not good for them. So why would these kids have to resort to that? It's not fair. And sorry, this is an even worse consequence. 40% of gay students harm themselves as a way to cope. That's compared to 14% of straight students, just to show you the disparity there. 36% of gay students consider suicide. 36% of students in this district consider suicide. That's compared to 14% straight students. And the numbers for trans students are even worse. We don't have data in this district for that yet, but on the national average, they're saying that almost 50% of trans people attempt suicide. So when I see legislation getting passed that targets trans students, I know what effect that has on them. As a teacher, I made sure my students knew that my classroom was a safe space, and I saw what acceptance and community did for those students. It changed their lives. And after they graduated, they're now adults. Several of them have told me that that saved their lives. Just having one space in school where they could eat lunch and not get bullied. So as we move into the new year, I just want to keep this in the forefront of your minds. It's something we need to work on together. It was happening before COVID, and now it's even worse. Thank you.
Carl Silverman, I understand you just arrived. You want to come up to the microphone? Go ahead, ma'am. You were on your way up. Come on up. State your name, please.
Hello, my name is Tuesday Gillum, and this is my daughter, Blue Gillum. We're here to talk about our personal experiences of the bullying that's going on of the LGBTQ teen community. She would really like to speak, and I think that I'll go ahead and let her. Can I do my 3 minutes and then you? Okay. Sorry, I'm just a little caught off guard because, I mean, I could talk all you want, but 2 people here said homophobic comments as my daughter's sitting in the room, so I don't think that I need to really even go through all this, so I'm a little upset right now. So there's a lot of unhappy kids scattered throughout the district, and they feel really alone. And it's not even the kids being gay, right? Because they might not know they're gay. They're like trying to figure themselves out. But when you have a boy paint his fingernails as exploration, that doesn't mean he's gay, but the whole school's treating him like that. And they're yelling at him, they're screaming at him, they're punching him. I know a boy who dyed his hair rainbow. It turned into a fight. That kid got suspended. Nobody else did. So it's not always just like a boy likes a boy and that makes them gay. It's homophobia and misogyny that is saying because a boy paints their fingernails, that means they're gay. So I think there's a lot of education that needs to happen, especially in this room. And you need to learn about homophobia from the people who experience it, the gay people, the same way that if you want to learn about racism, you don't learn about it from a bunch of white people learning about racism together. You need to learn about it from black people who are experiencing it and brown people that are experiencing it. I am devastated and hurt by what I feel here coming out of your guys' mouth. And to have a child here, you need to check.
Ma'am, please.
I am so sorry, but when there's homophobic things being said about gay kids and there's gay kids in here, this is not okay. I don't really even need to read this. Thank you. My daughter's going to speak.
Hello, my name is Blue, and I am a 13-year-old girl, and we are here on behalf of queer kids in this county. I have seen people close to me get bullied and harassed by other students. The kids that openly do this have no consequences. In fact, the person who goes through this kind of harassment are often told that it was a joke or that they were trying to be funny. I have had to experience this more than once. I have had teachers who openly make fun of the way I dress and constantly get harassed for looking like a certain stereotype. This is not something new. This has happened since elementary school, and not just towards me. I have been through a teacher who refused to teach me and would constantly send me to the principal's office for things that I didn't do. I have to work extra hard to keep up with the other kids because I never learned how to tell time or my multiplication tables because of my third grade teacher's ideology. People openly disrespect me in my current school, and people are more concerned about what's in my pants than doing their work. People scream the word faggot right in front of the teacher's face, and they do absolutely nothing about it. In other experiences, other than my own, I have seen a close friend be punched and called horrible names. When trying to defend themselves, they get kicked out of school with no other children having consequences. No matter what happens in front of the administrators' faces, they do absolutely nothing. I want this county to check on their teachers and admit that they have done wrong. We need a safe environment so we don't feel like we are constantly going to be picked on or beat up because of what we look like or what kind of genitalia we have. I'm tired of constantly telling everyone I'm something I'm not just because the school won't stop or do anything if I get hurt because of it. Thank you.
Mr. Bodges, could you find out what school that student goes to and report to the superintendent on that, please? Sean Mason, Sandy Sullivan. Go ahead, Mr. Silverman.
Yes, thank you. Sorry I'm late getting here. The traffic is really bad. I was here in August and again in September to discuss, to complain about what was going on in the transportation department. And I did meet with the superintendent briefly after one of the meetings. But frankly, I have to say that there has been really no movement to improve anything. I know there's been talks about money. That's not my issue, money. $2 or $3 an hour is not going to release the stress that many drivers are feeling at the moment. And there was going to be another driver here to just stand with me to support me, but I guess he couldn't make it. He might have gotten caught up in traffic. But I'm going to send you the 8-page letter that I sent to the Director of Transportation more than a month ago. It did take me a while to get it together because I wanted it to be in writing. I wanted it to be as comprehensive as it could be. I wanted to have other drivers review it, and they've been basically extremely supportive of it. And so it's been a month now since the Transportation Department has had this letter in their hands, and they said back then, a month ago, oh, you know, we want to review it and then we'll have a meeting. Well, haven't heard anything in almost a month. A couple days from now it'll be a month. Just today, they tried to force me to do a double run. We call it double backing out of the high school. I did it all last week. I do extra stops in the morning, and I told them last week, no, I'm not going to do it this week, the following week. But they tried again, and I said, sorry, nope, not doing it, okay? The problem is that when you do that, it depends on when it is and the school, but when you do it, you're late for the next school often, and if that school happens to be a middle school with out-of-control kids to begin with, it's just ridiculous. And then I get home late, and I'm exhausted, and, you know, do I really need to say anything more? So the discipline issue has not improved. There are a couple of administrators that are trying to do what they can, but they're trapped because they need the videos. They need the videos out of the buses, and it's taking weeks and weeks, if ever, to get the videos. And sometimes, because it's on a loop on the hard drive, the videos are no longer available. Video of a girl getting hit by a piece of something that a kid threw. She wasn't really hurt. But that kind of stuff, we need the videos promptly. And I will send this along by email.
Thank you, Mr. Silver.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sandy Sullivan, and I'm here to speak on Policy 103, which I believe you all may take a vote on later today as far as limiting parents and students from speaking their concerns at meetings.
Ma'am, that's not on our agenda today, but go ahead, continue.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I'm really confused. We each have 3 minutes to speak. As you can tell, people get very emotional, and they have to collect themselves. It takes a lot of courage to come up here and speak to all of you and in front of cameras, which I'm not happy about being on camera. I don't come here to be on television. I come here to stand up for my children. I'm also confused as to why people earlier get 4 minutes and we get 3 minutes. If you want to limit that to 30 minutes, that's only 10 people in the whole entire county of Palm Beach that get to speak, and I don't understand how you can feel who's more important to speak on a topic or not. I don't think that's your place. I think each of us need to have a voice. And if you want to drop the 3 minutes to 1 minute, I don't see how somebody can convey their emotions and their personal situations of what has happened in the schools to just 1 minute, as you can clearly see from the people that just spoke. You've already removed voicemails from being able to be heard, so now you want to remove the number of people that can speak, and then also remove 2 minutes of their time when 3 minutes is already hard enough to squeeze things into. Back in October, you all made Unity Month, where Mr. Burke wore orange to show, you know, the support for unity. I don't see how dividing us brings more unity to us. If you limit us from coming into meetings and from cutting our time, I just don't see how that brings unity. I urge you all to vote no on Policy 103 so that we can continue to unite us as parents, our students, and the schools all together. I want love in your hearts, not fear or hate in your hearts. Don't separate us even more. Please bring us closer together. Carol Bass, thank you so much for helping us through this transition. You've been very helpful to myself as I've just started coming to these meetings for the first time in my life. Also, my school, Limestone Creek, is still not allowing volunteers to come back on campus. It's been years. I just want to help some kids open some things at lunch so they can eat. I would love to come back and be a part of my children's school, please. Thank you for your time.
I've called all the names that are on the list. If any of you sign up to speak, I'll run through them again. Jason Blunt, I think he spoke. Rhonda Miller, Jamie Lehman, Jeff Bongiorno, Fiona Lachelle, Sandy Makovich, Angelique Contreras, Sean Mason.
Good evening, Sandy Metkovich. I live in West Palm Beach, Florida. Full disclosure, I don't have children or grandchildren in school. I don't even have children. The reason I'm here tonight, I'm concerned about the Palm Beach County School Board examining new rules for school board meetings. I sent an email today at 9:32 a.m. to all 7 school board members. I wish to attend the school board meeting on 12/15/2021 and 12/15/21 and be allowed to make a public comment. Please confirm request received. I sent this to 7 board members. School board member Alexandria Ayala, I hope I said that right, responded to my email within 10 minutes. It doesn't get any better than that. I want to feel free to make the comments and let her know I appreciate her quick response and allow those present to also appreciate her. I last checked my email before I left for this meeting. No one else responded. I also want to be able to say I am a strong believer in term limits, and in my opinion, Ms. Robinson, first elected in 2000, with 21 years in the board and up for re-election in 2022, has put her time in and should consider retirement. I canceled dinner with a friend to attend this meeting, drove to the meeting, and waited patiently to have my opinion heard and considered. Please, 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 think where your decision will take us. If you successfully pass this, other government officials will follow suit and attempt to stifle residents. If you don't agree with what I say, that's your right. And if I don't agree with your decision, that is my right also. It is also my right, according to the First Amendment, which allows me the freedom to speak my mind to elected officials. I listened to very passionate people speak out here tonight. Some you could hear the frustration in their voice. I now understand at my age the concept of don't get between a mama and papa bear and their cubs. Thank you for your time.
Board members, that's the end of the non-agenda speakers. We have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, second by Mrs. Andrews. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Happy holidays.